Alright, today's lesson is putting the pop art look onto your pop object. So your pop object is a photograph that you took of any object that symbolizes popular culture to you. I gave a lot of examples like my pop dolls, this Starbucks mug, but overall you guys are the experts. You as teenagers are constantly surrounded by popular culture. So I'm just going to allow you to choose the object. So after you have photographed the object, you've downloaded the image onto your computer, you've properly ejected your SD card, the first step to do is to create your Photoshop document. Now the requirement for this project is that it's an 11 by 17. So we're going to go up to File, New, and here is our new document menu. From here, you should go to Print and Tabloid. Tabloid is 11 by 17. It automatically sets it at 300 pixels per inch, which is what we need for printing. Over here, we can name it Pop Object. And it should be perfectly set. Now you may choose to keep it up and down, or move it side to side so that the long way is 17 inches. Or the short way could be 17 inches. Hamburger or hot dog. If you have a Starbucks mug like me, you might go portrait or up and down. If you have a shoe or anything that's just long, you might switch it over to this. That one is up to you. Then we're going to hit Create. So here's our 11 by 17 document. The next thing we can do is File, Place Embedded, and put in our image. I have a couple here. I'm going to go with the Starbucks mug. It's simple, it's easier. It'll get us through this video quicker. I'm going to commit or hit return on my keyboard to place the mug. Next, I'm going to use one of my selection tools, and I'm going to go around the mug. Now, for the sake of this video being limited to 15 minutes or less, my selections is going to be probably pretty rough. I do expect that you guys take more time. We'll have all class period to work on this project. Unlike the pop art project, this will only be one. So we'll only make one image instead of 4. There we go. And then from here, you're going to go down to this corner, and you're going to hit the Quick Mask or Make a Mask icon, and that isolates your image. Now, you can come over and grab your brush tool. When you paint in black, it will hide your image. Hit X on your keyboard, it switches to white, and you can show the image. So I'm going to switch to black. And I'm just going to clean up my selection a little bit really quickly. Again, you guys should do a little bit better about this yourselves. Starbucks mugs are a little smoother. I just Command Z there because I messed up a little bit. Smooth out the edges, the little rough spots, a little bit. So, after you guys have taken a little bit more time to do this, the next step is to add your filter. So, to do that, you want to make sure that you switch from this mask thumbnail over to the image thumbnail, because the image is what we're applying the filter to. If your filter doesn't work, go back and double check that you've done this. Next, we're going to hit D on our keyboard to default these colors to black and white. Then let's go to Filter and Filter Gallery. So we're going to use the same halftone filter that we did for our faces. Now you're going to see the whole image. Don't worry, this image is still being masked. I'd like you to at least set the dot size to 10 and the contrast to about 20. So you really want to up the amount of dots for this. Your contrast might move around a little bit, but it should still be pretty high. Then we're going to hit OK. That's going to apply our smart mask. From here, we can come over. We can change our layer blending mode to multiply so that we can see the colors underneath. And then let's just go ahead and lock this layer so that we don't accidentally mess up anything within it. While we're at it, let's unlock the background layer, rename it background, and then add another layer. This one we will name color. So we are going to play with our color layer first, adding bright colors to symbolize the big, bright pop art. Now you guys know what colors are popular right now, but I am just going to play with some just bright poppy colors to get everything to stand out. So it doesn't have to be true to the object's original color. I know Andy Warhol, when he did some of his objects with Campbell soup cans, he was very true to color. And then oftentimes we just had fun with color, and why not? So I'm coloring on the color layer itself, if you've noticed. I'm not coloring on the background layer. And you're noticing I am also kind of going outside the lines. And the nice thing about coloring on the color layer while I do this is I can use the eraser tool to clean it up. And I won't affect the background layers. So grab my eraser tool over here that we learned from the pop art portrait. And I can come in and clean that up a little bit. Now I expect you guys are taking a lot more time with this. Again, my recordings are limited to 15 minutes. So I won't pay for the software. Alright, and then maybe I add a nice bright color down here to really show you guys what's left of that drink. Hot pink. Everyone loves hot pink. Again, let's grab my eraser tool and clean that up. So you don't have to add a bunch of colors to the pop art object. Sometimes the less colors, the more impact it has. So I've done with my color layer. I'm going to go to my background layer now, and instead of coloring that in with the paint bucket tool, we're actually going to use a halftone filter. So over here, you want your background color to be white, background color, and double click on your foreground color, and this can be just any color you haven't used yet that you want to use for the background. I'm probably going to use a blue. I can also come over here to my swatches and click on that. Alright, so after we've done that, let's go to filter. And at the top, you're going to see recently used filters. You can just click on that. And that will automatically apply the exact same dots and contrast that you applied to your cup. Then I noticed that there's a few issues with my cup that I want to fix. So I'm going to grab this yellow here, come back in, pick that up a little bit. So the blue kind of showed through. And notice I can do that because I've kept these layers separate. Again, same with the green. Use that eyedropper tool, clean up this. Oops. Eyedropper tool, there we go, and clean up that. So the next thing we want to do is on the background layer, we're going to add an effect. So down here, we're going to highlight the background layer, click the FX or effects, and go to stroke. That's going to bring up the stroke menu. Here, you want to change size to 50 inside, and by 50, I think it was 200. Let's go there. And then we're going to change this color. There's the color picker. I moved it over there. We're going to change that to white. So again, 200 inside. Make sure this is normal and that's 100. That's by default, and the color is white. This adds a fun border. Now, your object might be too small. You might want to make it bigger. If you look at this one over here, I've made the cup a lot larger. It kind of extends outside its border. To do that, you first have to unlock this layer over here. And you're going to want to highlight the color layer, hold down Shift, and highlight the other layer. That way you get both layers, and then you can Command T, hit OK. And you can make this a little bigger. Return. Return on my keyboard tells it that I'm done. Move tool allows me to still move it with both highlighted. If I would only have one highlighted, I would only move one part of it. See, that looks really weird. Ooh, ugh, weird. All right. Now this is done. The last steps that you need to do is, if you haven't already, save as a Photoshop document into your Google Drive, just in case you want to go back and change it, or you lose your JPEG. It's always a good idea to go in here, save it as a Photoshop document, and be okay. I'm going to cancel because it looks like I was about to save over a previous document I want to save. But next step, to submit it to Schoology, always submit it as a JPEG. So we're going to go to File, Save As. We're going to put my last name in front. I'm going to save it to my Google Drive, which is where it already is sitting. We're going to change it to JPEG and hit Save. This is going to pop up. We can up it to a maximum of 12, hitting OK. And then the next step is just to go over to Schoology and submit it to the pop culture object. I'm going to have to go in, and you can see all the requirements. 11 by 17 Photoshop canvas, includes all of this fun stuff, and you're good to go.